This is a pair of Red Octobers. This specific pair of shoes goes for tens of thousands of dollars on the resale market. For many sneaker collectors, it is considered a holy grail purchase. For me, this shoe marks the apex of Nike's partnership with rapper Kanye West. Long before the Adidas Yeezys that we've all come to know and love, there was Nike Air Yeezy. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the history behind Air Yeezy and what happened to one of the best signature sneaker lines that ended way too soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nacho Average Finds YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Brian and my brother Nacho and I make videos specifically on sneaker history and all things related to sneaker culture. So if you're into sneakers, then you might want to consider subscribing to this channel because we make videos like this all the time and you're not going to want to miss an upload. Alright guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Back in the late 2000s, Kanye West was making a name for himself album after album. And by the time Graduation came out in 2007, Kanye West was already a superstar. Kanye wanted to explore his creative abilities in fashion. Thankfully for us, that started with his sneaker designs. Kanye's first effort was a collab with the Japanese streetwear brand A Bathing Ape. He designed this highly coveted Bapesta, which featured the college dropout bear on the shoe. Kanye later went on to design high-end luxury shoes for the brand Louis Vuitton. Learning the design process from start to finish with shoes like the Louis Vuitton Mr. Hudson, the Louis Vuitton Don, and the Jasper. It was during these formative years that Kanye was approached by Nike to design his own shoe. When news broke that Kanye was teaming up with Nike, the sneaker community went nuts. It would be the first time in Nike's history that they would collaborate on a signature shoe with a non-athlete. Mark Smith, Nike's creative director at the time, was assigned the task of helping the young star fulfill his vision. Kanye wanted to create a brand new silhouette that fused together retro Nike sports shoe technologies with modern day high fashion materials. Enter the Air Yeezy 1. The Air Yeezy 1 is sort of like a collage of retro Nike shoes. First off, and probably the most obvious detail, is the Jordan 3 inspired midsole. Like I mentioned earlier, Kanye wanted to marry retro sports technologies with high fashion, but this caused problems early on in the design process. Kanye is obsessed with Jordans and wanted to communicate that through his new shoe, but Nike wouldn't let him use any kind of Jordan properties on the design. Instead, Kanye and Mark Smith cleverly borrowed the sole unit from the 1988 Nike Air Assault silhouette. Another design cue that was taken from the Jordan line was their iconic elephant print. Kanye and Mark Smith recreated this effect by using a pattern made up of repeated mini letter Ys. The letter Y standing for Yeezy, of course. These mini Ys were embossed on the strap of the shoe and the suede mesh panel near the toe box. We also know that there were samples made with an LED light installed in the sole of the shoe. This was inspired by the Nike Air Mags, but they didn't make it to the final design. Instead, it was replaced by a glow-in-the-dark sole, which personally, I like way better. Original sketches for the Air Yeezy 1 show a circular air bubble in the heel. Unfortunately, this didn't make the cut either. The Air Yeezy 1 did feature a circular lace lock with the letter Y etched out in the center though. This was obviously inspired by the lace locks on the Air Jordan 6, one of Kanye's favorite sneakers. Throughout the year leading up to the release, Kanye would be seen rocking samples of the Air Yeezy 1 on stage and in public. This caused massive hype for the shoe. We know that there are a ton of samples that were made, but none of them were officially released by Nike. The Air Yeezy 1 released for $250 in 2009 in only 3 original colorways. Nike debuted the silhouette in the Zen Gray colorway, which was followed by 2 other colorways later that year, the Blink colorway and the Net Tan colorway. Out of those 3 colorways, which one is your favorite? Personally, for me, I think the Blink colorway is the dopest, but leave a comment below. The Air Yeezy 1 was a massive success and sold out immediately. For the next several years, it became a staple in the hip-hop community with many celebrities and rappers rocking the shoe, giving it a worldwide stage. Thanks to the success of the Air Yeezy 1, there was a ton of momentum building up to Nike and Kanye's next move. Over the next 3 years, Kanye would work on the design for the Nike Air Yeezy 2. But this time, Kanye would be working with Nike designer Nathan Van Hook. Their approach to the design was inspired by ancient Egypt. The silhouette featured a futuristic spike molded heel counter with fake reptile skin and a smooth snakeskin upper. Unlike the original Air Yeezy, the Air Yeezy 2 borrows elements from other Nike models. The Air Yeezy 2 borrows the same sole unit from the 1989 tennis silhouette, the Nike Air Tech Challenge 2. References to ancient Egypt can be seen on the tongue of the shoe with the Egyptian god Horus embossed on the tongue and on the insoles. Triangle patterns which resemble ancient pyramids are featured on the strap holder, and Kanye also used Egyptian hieroglyphics that spell out Yeezy hidden under the strap. In 2012, Nike released the Air Yeezy 2 in 2 original colorways, Pure Platinum and Solar Red. The release was extremely limited with only 5,000 pairs between 2 colorways sold through retailers throughout the US. This obviously created a ton of hype for the shoe and high resale prices. Today, the shoes go for $6,000 to $7,000 a pair, but nothing would even come close to the hype surrounding Kanye's last and final release with Nike, the Red Octobers. As of right now, a pair of Red Octobers in my size is going for $11,850 on StockX. Why on earth would anybody want to pay such an absurd amount for some Yeezys? Well, there was a lot of mystery surrounding the release of this shoe that left people salivating at the mouth for a pair. It all started with a rumor of a third Air Yeezy 2 colorway. After seeing Kanye wear the shoes at several performances and after Kim Kardashian posted a tease of them on her Instagram, Yeezy collectors were almost certain that a third colorway existed and that it would drop alongside his upcoming album Yeezus. But there was no word, not from Nike, not from Kanye. In fact, during this period, Kanye and Nike had a really bad public falling out. Kanye had become frustrated with the increasing delays of the Red Octobers and began going on these crazy public rants during his Yeezus tour. Check out this clip from this BBC interview where Kanye talks about his frustrations with Nike.
I've got a very particular specific take on men's footwear. No one can say I cannot design or understand how to design a guy's sneaker. When I was in 4th grade, I was drawing Jordans. When my mama couldn't afford them, I was drawing those Jordans. Getting kicked out of class for drawing them. And when I got that opportunity to work with Nike, I went into that emotional space and place of my life and said, what was it about that? What were the cues that I can add when I make the Yeezys? And I wasn't the one rapper that had the opportunity to do a shoe with Nike for no reason. People didn't love the Yeezys the way they did for no reason. Picture this, for me to do the Yeezys and not have a joint venture backing deal with Nike the next day would have been like if I made Jesus Walks and was never allowed to make an album. You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand that I did the Yeezys and they eBayed for $90,000.
Right.
And people wanted them bad as whatever, right? But I didn't get a call from Nike the next day. And then people say, why are you mad?
So what exactly happened? According to Kanye, he made one of the greatest shoes of all time, and he wasn't getting the attention he deserved from Nike. Nike did eventually reach out and offered to give him more products and more creative control over his signature line. But it wasn't just more creative control he was seeking. Kanye's daughter North was just born, and according to Ye, he needed more money to support his family.
I started turning up in a BBC interview, and they said, okay, cool. We're going to give you a bigger sandbox to play in. It's not even like I even got a joint venture. I'm like, at least give me some royalties. Michael Jordan got 5%. That business is $2 billion. He makes $100 million a year off of 5% royalty. I said, I need some type of royalty. Nike told me, we can't give you a royalty because you're not a professional athlete. I told them, I go to the Garden and play one on no one.
Kanye's departure from Nike to Adidas did not slow down the hype for the shoes. Nike finally released the Red Octobers unannounced via a random link on their Twitter page. The shoes sold out within seconds and have since become grails for many sneaker collectors. Can you imagine the sneaker world if Kanye would have never left Nike? They could have created maybe the next Jordan line. Earlier this year, in an interview with GQ magazine, Kanye said that he would be okay with Nike retroing the Air Yeezys. What do you guys think? Do you think that Nike should retro some Air Yeezys, maybe some Red Octobers, or would that be bad for sneaker culture? But hey, if you want to learn more about sneaker history, my brother Nacho and I put together this playlist for you of all the sneaker history videos that we've done. It should be popping up on the screen momentarily, so just go ahead and click on that and it'll take you to a playlist of all the sneaker history videos that we've done. We've done the Air Jordan 1, the 2, the 3, we've also done the 5, we're going to do the 4 soon, and there's just a ton of sneaker history videos that we've done, so go ahead and click on that, and I will see you over in those videos. Thank you guys so much for the support, and yeah, see you over in those videos. Peace.